Hi everyone, I'm Jenny. I'm a British English teacher and today's lesson is all about idioms. We have 10 idioms all connected to food and drink in some way. We are going to look at the idiom, look at its meaning and look at its origin. Oh, and I'll also give you an example sentence as well so you can see how we might use it in real life. So if that sounds good to you, let's take a look at our first idiom. The first idiom that I have for you today is to not be somebody's cup of tea. This is a fun idiom. We use it quite a lot in the UK and it means to not like something. It's actually quite a polite idiom as well to say that you don't like something. For example, I don't think I'll go to the match on Sunday. Football's not really my cup of tea. Okay, so there I'm saying I don't like football, but I'm being a bit more polite about it. So this idiom seems to have its origin in the 18th century, but in its negative form, to not be somebody's cup of tea, that seemed to become more popular during World War II. This could be because when the Brits and the Americans got together, Brits really loved tea and Americans didn't. The second idiom is to have your cake and to eat it too. And this would often be used in an example like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And what it means is you can't have or do two things at the same time, which are simply impossible to have or do at the same time. For example, we only have enough money to buy a new car or to have a new kitchen. We can't have our cake and eat it too, right? So there isn't enough money to do both things. We have to choose. This idiom was first recorded in the 16th century. Number 3 is a simile. And it's as cool as a cucumber. And this means to be calm or to behave very calmly. So cool in this simile doesn't literally mean cold, like low in temperature. It means cool in the sense of not easily upset or easily bothered. And it is being compared to the physical coolness, the cooling effect of a cucumber. 4 is to sell like hotcakes. And if something sells like hotcakes, it sells very quickly. It is bought very quickly and usually in large numbers. This idiom was first seen in 1839. And so a hotcake is a synonym for a pancake. And if you've ever seen pancakes being made at a market or a fair or a stall, you'll notice that typically they are sold as fast as they can be made. They're made very quickly and sold very quickly, particularly fresh. An example of sell like hotcakes could be when he released his new book, it sold like hotcakes. So when we say this, we mean that he sold a lot of books and he sold them incredibly quickly. 5 is to leave a bad taste in your mouth. And this means that you have a bad memory of something. For example, I'll never use that bank again. The customer service has really left a bad taste in my mouth. So what I mean by this sentence is that the service was so terrible, it's left me with an awful memory to the point that I never want to go back. So this idiom first appeared in the 19th century. I think it's quite literal as well because around that time or even now, if you consume some foods or medicines, you are often left with a bad taste or a bitter taste after you have consumed them. Idiom 6 is the apple of somebody's eye. And the apple of somebody's eye is the person who that person loves the most. For example, she was always her grandmother's favorite. Everybody said that she was the apple of her grandmother's eye. I did a little bit of research on the origin of this idiom. So it could come from a Hebrew expression, which literally translated means the little man of the eye. So maybe like a reflection of the favored person in the other person's eye, perhaps. I'd be interested to hear anybody's thoughts on that, especially if you know Hebrew. This expression was also later used by Shakespeare and maybe it gained more popularity when he started to use the expression in his works. 7 is bite off more than you can chew. If you bite off more than you can chew, you accept something that is too difficult for you or too much of something so that you get overwhelmed. For example, when he agreed to cover his colleague's paternity leave, maybe he bit off more than he could chew, in that he then had too much work to do. He was overwhelmed. This is another fairly obvious idiom. If you bite off too much, you're going to struggle to chew that food and to swallow that food in a healthy way. This idiom was first seen in the 19th century. Sorry everyone, something happened with this clip and it didn't record correctly. But idiom number 8 is to give somebody a taste of their own medicine. And this means to treat somebody as badly as they have treated you. Now let's get back to the video lesson. For example, it's difficult to feel sorry for him after how badly he has treated everyone. Now it seems he is getting a taste of his own medicine. So when I went to find out the origins of this idiom, I was particularly interested because it's from Aesop's fables, and Aesop was a Greek storyteller. So this story is about a fraudster, a con man or a cheat, who sold people fake medicine. And he told them that this medicine would cure any illness. And obviously it didn't. The problem came when this fraudster became ill. And the people gave him his own medicine, which of course did not work. Idiom number 9 is to take something with a pinch of salt. In the US, I think they tend to say to take something with a grain of salt, but it's the same idiom. And this means not to believe that something is true, probably because you have reason to believe that it is not true. I'll give you an example. Take anything she says with a pinch of salt, because she has a tendency to make up stories. Our final idiom for today is to spill the beans, and this means to tell somebody a secret. For example, if I tell you, do you promise not to spill the beans? This is another ancient Greek idiom, and it possibly comes from the voting system that they used there, when people voted with beans. White beans for a positive result and black or dark beans for a negative result. And therefore, when they emptied the jar of beans, the result, or the secret, was revealed. So that's it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. Please come back for a new lesson soon. Bye for now.